stress on my coat. I'm out the road, feel like I'm Batman. Yeah, damn, what? Smart element.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the next episode, episode 3, Packers. My boy Jacob. You from Wisconsin, right?
Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Goodness gracious, where is that?
It's north of Madison,
Yeah.
Milwaukee. It's right under Lake Winnebago. Fond du Lac literally means in French "foot of the lake," so it's right at the bottom.
What? All right. I think I got to go take a trip over there to Wisconsin then.
You got to go up to Wisconsin Dells.
What's that?
That's like big tourist destination.
Yeah.
And then Green Bay, obviously. You got to go to Green Bay.
I'm going to check it out. So, is that, because my first question is, like, what made you become a fan, though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so obviously being from there is a big contributor. Now, I didn't really come around to like genuine fandom until they won the Super Bowl in 2010 against the Steelers. My grandpa is like my mom's dad, diehard Packer fan.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big influence. And ever since then, I watched every year since. So.
Since 2010.
Since 2010 is when.
That's what's up. That's a good little start, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even be mad at that. And so we got. All right. So you've been a fan since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So what game do you vividly remember, good and bad?
Okay. Well, let me start with the bad, because there's quite a few. Even though like the Packers have obviously been pretty successful over that 14-year period that I've been a fan, the lowlights stick out more than anything. I love this story. I was watching the Packers Seahawks game with the Fail Mary. Okay. And when the ref put his hands up that it was a touchdown, I screamed no. I was sitting in my bed. I screamed no, and I punched a hole in the drywall with my fist.
You didn't see the other ref doing this?
No, well,
this one.
Yeah, I just saw this one, and I'm like, that's it. Oh man, so that was and then I like walk out to my parents who were watching the game too, and I'm like, I just punched a hole in my wall.
Oh no, dude, I'm so sorry.
So
well, they were watching the game, right?
They were watching the game as well.
So they understood what it was.
They knew what was going on, I think. And then obviously another Seahawks game where
y'all just don't like the Seahawks.
No. See, my hatred for teams is always based on like which team knocks us out of the playoffs. So like, these past couple of years it's been the Niners.
Yeah.
Niners are my least favorite team right now. But so for a while it was the Seahawks because we lost on that that onside kick.
Onside kick. Who got it? Who got the ball?
So Jordy Nelson was like right there to catch it, and then Brandon Bostic got in the way of it and fumbled the whole thing away. So that was probably the second worst memory, both against the Seahawks.
Oh my God! So what was the game you vividly remember as the good one?
That's the challenge. Is there's so many good games.
Yeah.
I gotta go with the most recent memory, which was the Cowboys game last season.
Thank you.
People who aren't Packers fans might not know, but like outside of the Bears, our favorite team to beat is the Cowboys.
And I love
hands down. We'd love to beat the Cowboys, and like that entire game, like I was just screaming, like I was like giddy. I was like, my wife kept recording me because I was just like freaking out.
All in there.
I was one of my favorite moments.
That's what's up, though. I remember that game not because of like any highlights of it. It's just y'all was so like not heavily favored to win that game, and then when y'all pulled it off, I was like, thank God. Someone has to stop them every year, and y'all have been doing that, especially because I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Packers play the Cowboys with the Dez catch?
Yeah, we did.
I love y'all.
I guess one more I got to mention again against Cowboys is the Rodgers like rolled to the left and he just sideline like, and it's that toe tap to I can't remember exactly who caught it, but like you see it in the photo and like Rodgers is like also doing the toe tap. Like,
bro, beating the Cowboys is like the best thing ever. Honestly, especially when someone else beats them.
Oh yeah.
It's like, all right, cool. We didn't get it done, so thank you guys for doing that.
We got you.
That's crazy though. Oh my goodness. Now I'm thinking about it. It's like y'all really do have some great memories, some bad memories. One game I remember vividly versus y'all. I have two of them, a great one and a bad one. The great one, we had two of them, where both of our Super Bowl run through Green Bay. So 07, we play in there when Tom Coughlin has like the big red face, like freezing cold temperatures.
It a red face.
It was red. It was completely red. And then the next year, 2011, that's when we just went through Aaron Rodgers. It wasn't like too much of a big deal on that one.
I remember that. I watched that game.
The next time we make it to the playoffs, we're like, oh my God, we got to go through Packers again. Yes, thank goodness. We're going through them again. That's usually how we go to that Super Bowl. That was the boat trip game when Odell, Victor Cruz, Sterling Shepard,
I remember that.
Roger Lewis, all of them was on the boat. I'm like, dude. And Eli was balling, but no one was catching. I'd never been so sad. That probably was one of my top games that I remember vividly. Obviously, the one before that was like the Eagles and Evan Ingram. I talked about that last episode, but this one in particular, it was like, I can't think of his name. I want to say Tavares King was his name. He was the only receiver that was actually doing that game. And I was like, bro, we have Odell, Sterling Shepard, and these dudes. And everyone who was on that boat played terrible. Y'all started the curse. I blame y'all for that. But if y'all going to stop the Cowboys from winning the Super Bowl, I respect y'all for it. For sure. So I said Tavares King. So give me two names of former players that'll blow my mind.
Blow your mind?
Yeah, like former players who play for the Packers. It don't got to blow my mind, but like someone who played for y'all and it's like, dang, he did play for them.
Julius Peppers?
Julius Peppers.
I love watching the Julius, like when we had Julius Peppers on our defense, like that was probably one of the last times that our defense was like genuinely, you know, I don't even like not even good, just like just middling. Like we've always had sort of an iffy defense. So like Julius Peppers, and then like a hometown favorite would be John Kuhn.
Kuhn, the fullback. That was cool.
Cool. Yep. So those would be my two guys.
Kuhn was, oh my God, that blew my mind for sure though. Because didn't he retire? He left y'all, right?
Yeah, I think he retired a Packer. I don't know if he ever.
He probably did, honestly. Because retiring anybody else, that's why we don't forget him. Remember it as another player anyway. But nah, John Kuhn, Julius Peppers, you know, Panthers, Packers, Bears, call it a day, Hall of Famer. Oh my goodness. Bro, you bring back some memories I didn't even know I have, bro. So what is your favorite moment as a fan, though? Was it the Super Bowl?
No, because I was 10 years old. So like I wasn't even really that present when they won. And you know, obviously I've been waiting ever since then to actually like be present and watch them win.
Yeah.
And like I told my wife, because like I was like, look, when they were, you know, making somewhat of a run, I was like, look, if they win, like I don't care. I'm booking a plane ticket to Green Bay and I'm gonna go to the parade. And I'm still like I'm bowing, like I don't care how much it costs. I'm booking it to Green Bay for that parade.
Well, it's so funny. I'm thinking you booking it to go to the Super Bowl. He's like, I'm booking it.
Oh, I don't got that kind of money. I go to the parade. Actually, like I attended a game. It was against the Rams. I think it was in 21. It was a day after Thanksgiving. They won. It was a close game, but it was a really fun game. Went with my wife, then my girlfriend, fiance then.
Your wife and your girlfriend?
No. My now wife, who was then my fiance, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. But watching that game was really cool. I mean, it was totally freezing. And my wife does not handle the cold at all.
That's why I came to Texas?
That's why we're in Texas.
Y'all met at University of Wisconsin? Or
No, so we met in Missouri. So like lived in Wisconsin for 7 years, moved to Missouri, lived there for about 15 years, and now I'm in Houston. But we visited my family up in Wisconsin, and then went to a Packers game day after Thanksgiving, and it was just so much fun. Wore warm clothes underneath, and then put our pajamas, because I bought us matching Packers pajamas the Christmas prior.
Oh man, y'all are so cute, bro.
So,
so have you ever met a Packer before?
Actually, I have. So when I was I was playing middle school football, and we got the chance to play during a preseason game halftime show. And after we played, in our way back to like the locker room, as we were walking in, the Packers were walking out, and so I got to high five Jordy Nelson,
Oh shoot,
Eddie Lacy,
Lacy.
I think even even like David Bakhtiari. I think those were like the three guys that I remember the most. And like I was like, because White Lightning, Jordy Nelson. So I was like, "You're my favorite." I was like a little like I don't know what, like 13, 14-year-old, something like that.
Of course you hit him with the "You're my favorite ever in life and ever."
No, I don't think you noticed.
Yeah,
That's okay.
because I think I met my first Giant ever, and like I went to all these games and stuff like that before that, and I met Kenny Galladay. Like I think I told you, I met Kenny Galladay. No one in the airport recognized him but me because he's not like the most remembered.
No, he's
but
a
to me, like Jordy Nelson and Eddie Lacy, you call him Fat Lacy, but then again, he was good. He was called Baby Beast Mode for a little bit.
He was eating.
Yeah, he was definitely eating.
on the field, and
exactly.
Off the field.
But now, you said, oh goodness, I almost lost train of thought for a second.
Randall Cobb too.
Randall Cobb.
Got to high five him.
So one of our coworkers actually played with one of the Packers.
No way.
Yeah, he was the quarterback for him.
Who's that?
Can you guess? Can you guess who the player was?
Who the player? Like
who's the player he played with?
No idea.
Jeremy was the quarterback to James Jones.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy was the quarterback to James Jones.
Wow, I was asking about that.
Yeah, for sure. He can tell you. He can tell you.
He knew some. He knows I'm a Packer fan too.
Yeah, he did. So he probably just like he ain't notice it.
Yeah, probably not.
So who was the worst head coach in the team history? Since you only have McCarthy and Zach LaFleur.
Yeah,
so
Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur. I'm thinking Zach Taylor. Matt LaFleur. Who would you rather?
So they each have some pretty memorable, I don't know, seasons. Obviously, like the way it ended with McCarthy, and then the fact that he went to the Cowboys of all teams.
And y'all beat him. Appreciate it.
It's always poetic justice when we beat him too. But I probably, honestly, with the way things are now, I probably prefer LaFleur. Just because of like, I think LaFleur is better at adapting, whereas like McCarthy is kind of just stuck in this like he's stuck in the 2010s, right? Whereas like, and that's why our team towards the end of the decade really started to fall off, is because like he was stuck in like this style of offense and even defense for that matter that like just felt outdated. And then that's part of the reason why like Rodgers kind of had a career resurgence towards like towards the end of the decade going into the 2020s, where it was like LaFleur introduced this new style of offense where it was like when he first came in, he kind of gave like 60% control to Rodgers, and then the following season, and Rodgers kind of buys into the LaFleur system a little bit more, and now it's like maybe LaFleur's got like 80%.
Yeah, 80-20. I was about to say.
20. So it's like, and then for whatever reason, the third season with him, I think it just kind of like whatever, something fell off. I think it's just like injuries, and then just like a lack of buying in from Rodgers. Well, because like I was actually, so the last game I think of the season that McCarthy coached for us, I was at that game against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And they lost like 28-0, and like we're watching like Deshaun Kaiser.
Oh yeah.
Like quarterback for us, and it's like that was my first Packers game was watching Rodgers get a concussion, and Deshaun. Wait, I think it was
your first game was Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah, coming in and relieving Aaron Rodgers and not doing it.
Not doing at all.
So that was pretty disappointing. Thankfully, Rodgers redeemed it with the Rams game.
Yeah.
So that was great, but yeah, that was like Rodgers. I'm pretty sure, like I said, got a concussion, and like so, like when he doesn't want to play for somebody, like he's gonna show you. So
exactly.
But that's what's been so great about having Jordan Love come in is like he's a new guy. He doesn't like run his own system. It's just like, yes, coach, I'm going to do that.
And he does it.
And he does the thing, and it works well. Like it works really well. So
wasn't Matt LaFleur the OC when y'all lost to the Rams?
He might have been. I don't remember.
He might have. He might not. I probably fact check that one.
But because he's been all over. I mean, he's been with Washington. He's been with the Falcons. I think he even spent some time with the. I know he's been with the Falcons.
Was he with Tennessee?
He was with Tennessee.
That's what it was. Okay, he probably was in Tennessee when it happened.
Yeah, probably.
And then, so you have DeShone Kizer. You lose somebody. That's someone you lost. That's not a backup for you guys anymore. So you guys have great players on your team now, like a future Hall of Famer on your team. And just saying, you have what, Josh Jacobs too, and future Hall of Famer on your team. And how do you feel about the additions that you guys brought in? You brought in McKinney. You brought in Josh Jacobs. Like, where do you see them excelling? Do you see them excelling? Because you still have people on your team like Rashawn Gary, and you have people no longer having Aaron Jones on your team. How do you feel like your offense is going to go? How the defense is going to look and everything like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. First, I want to say there was like an hour when that happened when we signed Josh Jacobs, where it's like every Packer fan everywhere was like, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, even AJ Dillon. It's like, wow.
I got hot pockets and I'm playing Fortnite.
We got the best backfield in football, and then we cut Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is not okay. And then it's like, and then he signs with the Vikings.
Oh, man.
Oh, talk about like,
how do you sign with a division rival, man?
I think, well, like, he's just like, I don't know. He was offended by like the deal that he was offered, even though it kind of works out to like, I think he got like an $8 million deal with more guarantees, and like the Packers offered him like $7 million and it had fewer guarantees. And I guess that kind of like spiffed him or whatever. And so he was like, well, I'll go play twice a year now.
That sounds like something that happened similar to the Giants. Saquon doing the exact same thing. And it hurt. But we didn't sign no one. We didn't even like sign Tony Pollard enough to get back at the Cowboys or something. But no, we signed Devin Singletary. So
I don't even remember who that is.
He was running back for the Texans this year.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's
pretty good.
He's actually pretty good.
And so when you see your defense, do you feel like your defense is gonna be top 5 in the league?
No. So I was actually no, I don't think it's gonna be top 5. But if it's top 15, like I think that's a win.
Okay.
I think. In all reality, it should get better. I think. It's gonna like with Jeff Hafley coming in. I think it's gonna be a completely different defense.
Oh, that's the new defensive coordinator y'all got. Who was the old one?
It was my gosh.
I forgot his name. He was an older guy, right?
Yeah, it's like as a Packer fan, we've just like erased it.
Erased it, yeah. Right? Whoever his name was, yeah.
The thing about Joe Barry was that like he had this defense, and you'd play that defense for everybody. And it was like one size fits all. They're just gonna, they're gonna have to figure out how to play us.
Right.
That wasn't our defense. That wasn't like that's not how you should play defense. It's like you should play like based on the opponent. And so that's what, at least as Packer fans, we see is going to happen. That's what Jeff Hafley is, I think, promised in like some of his pressers is like, look, like we're not just going to do one size fits all defense. It's going to be like we're going to look at our matchups and we're going to exploit them in whichever way we can, which is like
that is literally how you're supposed to play football. That's
literally how you're supposed to play football, and Joe Barry did not do that.
Oh my God.
He was bad. And the fact that like we won as many games as we did with him is like
it's kind of amazing. Yeah.
But like I think the biggest issue for our defense is probably going to be missed tackles. So I think the Packers had like a total of 109 missed tackles, which was like I think that put them is like 18th in the league, and like the Niners were second in the league at like 60 something. Don't fact check me on that. But like they went to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
It's like you got to be able to tackle to play defense. So if we can figure that out, I think Xavier McKinney is going to make a difference there. And just like a couple of our younger defensive guys, with this second year going in, because we drafted a ton of defensive guys last year, I think. We got guys going into their second, third year.
No, I'm trying to think of the names, but I know y'all guys did.
Quay Walker's a big one.
Quay Walker, yeah, he's the linebacker, right?
He's a linebacker. He
was playing good last year.
Yeah, it's like he was like just average. And actually, like I think like Pro Football Focus actually ranked him pretty low.
They always do that. That's the thing. They always. Oh my God, that's a good side to have your sources, but at the same time, it's such a bad side sometimes. It's good with offensive linemen in a way because it kind of correlates when they get on the field. Like, oh yeah, Nate Zola was last in the league in pass rush. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Nate Solo was an all-pro for the Patriots. Got slapped every play. All right, cool. I kind of see. I see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I see exactly what they're talking about. But that's a good thing, though, having, what's his name? Halfley?
Mm-hmm.
Having Halfley in there, because I don't know why the Giants and the Packers have like a lot of similarities. Just you have a great quarterback, we have a terrible one. But having Wink Martindale, that was our offensive coordinator last year. He was one size fits all. Like, we're gonna play man, we're gonna blitz you, and that's what you're gonna have to do all day, every day.
Yep.
And so the safety's gonna be able to come down and be able to adjust
Mm-hmm.
and make plays on the ball. But now having Xavier McKinney on your team, now having that ball hawk, like he's naturally a ball hawk. Like that dude will play games unless he's on an ATV and breaks his hand. So you guys, I feel as if you guys will make a better standing against better teams. It's going to be rough in the beginning,
I think
but
so
at the same
too.
time, it's going to get better after a while.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be some growing pains, just like there was last season, and then like we'll mesh as a team and finish out the season really strong. So
okay, and
feel pretty good.
Let me see. This is your schedule, right? Y'all, week 1 of the Eagles. What's the record? Who winning?
I think we're 1-0. I just think like with the way that the Eagles just sputtered out last season, I think there's going to be too many question marks. But like the first game of the season is always such like a weird, just you never know what's
You got a feel out process, and then you got week 2 versus the Colts. Y'all at home.
I think we're 2-0.
Titans at the Titans.
3-0
versus the Vikings. Aaron Jones.
I think we
at the Vikings.
Every so often Packers will just have like a dud of a game, and it's always seems to be like against
Minnesota
rival, especially Minnesota. So I think we're 3-1 there.
3-1 at the Rams.
That could be a tough one. I think we go 3-2.
3-2. All right, versus the Cardinals.
4-2. I feel pretty good about that.
Y'all are at home. Oh, I've got it mixed up. Actually, y'all are home against the Vikings. Y'all home against the Vikings, and then y'all are versus the Texans at home. Y'all at home.
Texans home. The Texans are going to be a tough team. I think they're going to be a really good team this year. What are we at? We're at 4-2 right now.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
It's 4-2. I think we dropped this one.
You think you dropped that one? So 4-3. Yeah. Oh, that's a tough start, like you said. At the Jaguars.
I think we win that one. Yeah. 5-3.
Right. Lions.
At Lions or
no? You guys are home.
Take Lions. It seems like we've been splitting a lot of these games, like a lot of the division matchups. We got them at home, so I say we take that one 6-3.
So 6-3 going into the bye. Do y'all win the bye or lose the bye? Y'all are at the Bears.
At the Bears. Man, this is a saying in Green Bay that the Bears are the Bears.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what they have on their team. So that's it's 7-3.
7-3. At home versus the 49ers.
I think this is the year we figure them out.
8-3.
8-3.
Thursday night game, Dolphins.
9-3.
All right. Thursday night game at the Lions.
I think we lose that one. I think I could see us losing that one. So 9-4.
9-4. At Seattle.
10-4.
Okay. Versus the Saints in New Orleans. I mean, in Green Bay.
11-4.
11-4 at the Vikings.
I'm gonna go 12-4. Or Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. You don't think JJ gonna be great?
What? I think he could be, but not this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to say. I just don't think this year will be their year at all.
And then they have a to be decided versus the I don't know why this is to be decided versus the Bears in week 18.
At Bears?
Nah, you guys are home.
Okay, we take that one. So 13-3?
Yeah.
Or 13-4?
13-4.
Yeah, 13-4. I feel good about that.
That's a good little season.
A good progression from what we left off. I know somewhere in there's going to be like a dud game that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because the Packers always seem to do that. But outside of that, I feel pretty good about like 13-4, even 12-5.
Would be a good little. I feel as if that's a good little record too. Yeah. And then they gave, I think ESPN gave you guys a FBI percentage of like 3% to win the Super Bowl. So probably 4%. Yeah, no comment. Probably 4%. How do you think that is? Because I think they have the highest at 16% with give you a 4% chance to make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the 49ers, I think, at 16%. Do you think you guys get it done? You hope you do.
Obviously. I mean, because the strongest team in the NFC is going to be the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, evidently based on their chances. I think if we get over that hump of beating the 49ers at home,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's going to be such a confidence boost that if we see them in the playoffs again, I think we'll be ready.
Y'all gonna be able to get it done.
Ready to get it done. So
I like that.
If we can beat the 49ers, I feel pretty good about our chances. I mean, outside of that, it's like looking at last season, it's like we beat the Lions at home on Thanksgiving Day, right? Like, there's no reason we can't do that again this season. And the Lions were the second best team in the NFC based on just where they made it to. So really, it's just getting over that 49ers hump, and I think we're there.
Okay, and then rapid fire questions. Who is number 52 on the team right now?
Rashawn Gary.
I bet. Who is number 88?
88. Oh, geez. Is it a tight end?
It is.
Ooh, Luke Musgrave?
It is. I couldn't go too in depth when it comes to who's number 10.
Jordan Love.
I bet. Number 8.
Josh Jacobs.
Dang. All right. Cool. 29.
Xavier McKinney.
And so, last question. When it comes to who is your favorite player that does not play for the Packers? Who did not play for the Packers ever?
Never played for the Packers? Oof, that's a really great question. I always liked, so outside of like Aaron Rodgers in terms of quarterbacks, I always loved quarterbacks that could run, mobile quarterbacks. Especially like, I was never that good at Madden.
Yeah.
Like,
Tyrod Taylor. Oh, come on.
No, I always liked like Mike Vick. Mike Vick was always fun to play with in Madden. Even I hate to say this, but Jalen Hurts. Like I liked his style of play. I know you hate that.
No, I really don't hate Jalen Hurts as much.
Even like kind of Cam Newton. Like I like watching him play at his prime.
Yeah.
Just mobile quarterbacks are always so much fun to watch because you never know what they can do in a given play. That's what's cool about Jordan Love's not the fastest guy, but he's mobile.
He can scoop.
He can scoop.
He got like that Patrick Mahomes scoop.
Yeah.
Like I can get out of there, you gonna get.
But he can still make those like crazy off platform throws that like Aaron Rodgers or even Brett Favre could make, where it's just like
I needed that.
Yeah. Where it's just like he could just rip it. Which sometimes gets him into trouble, right? But yeah, I would say at this point, like favorite player to watch, like current player outside of Jalen Hurts, because kind of played like crap anyways.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the season, would have to be CJ Stroud. I mean, especially being in Houston, it's like I watched more Texans games than I did Packers games, just because like number one, the way streaming NFL is terrible.
Sunday ticket.
I saw a thing that was like it would cost you like over $400 a month to see every NFL game.
Yeah, if you was
Yep, which is ridiculous. It's just like it makes it impossible to watch.
I mean, on Sunday ticket.
I don't know, like if you wanted to see every game, right? Because there's like.
Oh, I mean probably live.
Yeah.
Okay, live. I was about to say live. Yeah, because Sunday ticket in total like $3 something. I pay for it every year.
Because now you got Amazon, you got Peacock, you've got. I don't even know who else like in the game. So
I think Netflix got a game coming on
really
like Christmas. I think.
Great.
Yep. So if you ain't got Netflix for like $15.99, I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah, but so CJ Stroud would just be like, like time and time again, you've seen like Ohio State quarterbacks come into the NFL and just suck. So I was like, especially they dropped the first 2 games, and I'm like, yep, he's a bust.
Exactly.
And then like. He was rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year.
He was, and then Will Anderson was defensive rookie of the year. So he won back-to-back on Texans.
So like watching him play was like, honestly, like I rather would have seen all the Packers games, but getting to watch the Texans play was still really fun.
Yeah.
And they really became like my number 2 team just because of location.
Are you going to any games this season? Like any Packers or Texans games?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I think if the Texans play, if the Packers ever come down here, I would totally go.
Oh, for sure.
But outside of that, probably no.
They might be in the preseason. I don't know. I know they're playing the Giants in the preseason. Texas are, but it might be in Green Bay. But that's episode 3. My boy Jacob, Big Pockets fan, and till next time.
Go Pack, go.